What's it like? I've never been to Mexico. What's it like?
You want to hear that story, do you?
Well, I just want to talk about warm weather, but if you got a story from there.
Yeah, Mexico City actually.
Mexico City.
Yeah,
I didn't
we're
know.
not
Okay.
talking resort town here.
Okay.
Yeah. So
How'd you wind up there?
Well, it was 2014. You want to hear the whole thing from the start?
Yeah, man. That's why we do a podcast.
All right.
We
Well,
got time.
yeah. So, I was coaching Adam AAA in Cole Harbor. Do you know Stewie Lenahan?
Yeah, he was my line mate in junior for a couple.
Yeah,
of
you
months.
guys are around the same age. Yeah.
Marauders, Halifax
Yeah,
Lions.
okay.
Yeah.
So we were coaching together, and I'll never forget it. I got an email from a buddy of mine, and literally the email says, "Hey, if you want to play hockey for Team Canada, read the information below and get back to me ASAP." So I'm literally in the dressing room, and I look at Stewie. I'm like, "Man, get a load of this." I throw him my phone, and he's like, "What?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I don't know if this is real or what, but I'm going to get to the bottom of it." So anyway, I got home that night, and my wife, who was 6 months pregnant at the time, I threw her my phone. I said, "Read this," and she reads it, and she was like, "This makes no bloody sense." I said, "I know it doesn't, but," I said, "I'm going to figure out if it does." And she was like, "What?" She's like, "Are you really going to go?" I said, "If this is real, you're damn right I'm going." So anyway, so what had happened was a buddy of ours that we played with here, he's actually originally from Bedford, Matt Kerr. Kersey was living in Toronto at the time. So his really good buddy, Ross McLean, he was working with hockey. Ross is actually from Halifax originally.
Okay.
And Ross is working for Hockey Canada out of Calgary.
Okay.
So in international, like double IHF, right, international competition, there's actually different divisions, right? So Canada's in what's called the championship division. So obviously Canada, Russia, US, Sweden, Finland, blah, blah, blah. And then there's like a Division 1A, Division 1A, or 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. Like the divisions actually go down.
Okay.
Because think I don't know how many competing countries there are in the double IHF, like 200 or something.
Okay.
So there's different divisions. So these tournaments actually happen all over the world every year. It's just we never hear about them because we're busy watching the Olympics or the World Juniors or whatever. So Mexico, believe it or not, is actually a really flourishing hockey country.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah,
but
it is.
okay.
I mean, obviously they're never going to be at the level that Canada's at, but their infrastructure and the program is growing. And Hockey Canada was actually working with them for a couple years in helping them develop it.
That's awesome.
So they wanted to move up in world rankings. So Canada, I don't know what they're ranked in the world right now, but how you get world rankings is points based on your finishes in tournaments. So like if you win a World Juniors, I don't know, it's worth 1,000 points or whatever the matrix is. So that's how the world rankings go. So Mexico, they wanted to move up a division. I think it was from Division 2A to 1B or something like that.
Okay.
They want to move up.
Okay.
So they wanted to host an event. So they hosted the Pan American Hockey Championship.
What year is this?
2014.
Okay.
So it was a fully legit double IHF sanctioned event, right?
First time ever in Mexico?
Yeah. So the competing countries were originally supposed to be Canada, US. I mean, it's Pan American, right? Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, and Brazil. Now, the Americans, those damn heathens, they backed out pretty shortly before the event. I don't know what happened there, which I could get into that in a little bit. But so there was So Ross, Kersey's buddy, who works for Hockey Canada. So originally what was going to happen, now obviously Hockey Canada's not going to send down a bunch of, pro guys or 20-year-old junior players to Mexico City. I mean, keep in mind, Mexico City's got more people in it than Canada.
I believe that.
The city's bananas.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I've never seen anything like it. Probably never will again. So what had happened was a senior AAA team from British Columbia was going to go and represent Canada. And they were going to pay. They were going to pay mostly their own way, right, and all this stuff. Like I guess they had fundraised for it and all this stuff. They ended up making the Allen Cup, the national senior championship. So they had to bail out. So at this time, this is when Sochi was going on, the Olympics in Russia. So the story that we were told was Hockey Canada, and come to learn, world hockey is very political.
Is it?
Yeah.
In what sense? Like at the tournament? Very like.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like anything. You put a bunch of governing bodies together. There's always politics involved. But I learned a lot about Hockey Canada and the way things work. That 10 days I was down there.
What'd you learn?
Really, I
Is it
get
gonna
into it.
Okay,
yeah,
just keep telling the story. We'll go.
So Bob Nicholson, who was president of Hockey Canada at the time, was over in Russia, and they had a conference call about this, event because this senior AAA team couldn't go. So Bob Nicholson said. He told the Hockey Canada staff, the office in Calgary, he said, I don't give a shit how much money this costs us. We can't pull out of this. We'll look very bad.
It's true.
Figure it out and send a team down there. So basically Hockey Canada staff were like, as soon as I think they heard that there was no limit on the budget, they were having fun with it. But they basically were like, well, all right. So they wanted, obviously, sending a bunch of guys to Mexico City could have bad idea written all over it. So I think they wanted like a little older guys, right, for the mature factor, which I don't know if we were the most mature group that went down there, but anyway, that's to be determined. But anyway, so they wanted guys that formerly played like junior university or major junior, and they wanted to have guys from all over Canada. They didn't want to just take a bunch of guys from one city. They wanted to kind of mix it up a bit. So basically, guys that worked for Hockey Canada were tasked with doing this. So it's pretty funny. So Kersey emails, we were playing beer league together, right? Yeah. In the Lake City League in Dartmouth. So he emailed, I think there was like 7 or 8 of us on the email list. And if you were to get him here right now, I don't think the guys that went were the ones that he expected to go. Do you know what I mean?
So how did they figure it out if they weren't on the email?
So, no. So he emailed, like, it was literally like, I think it was like 7 or 8 or 9 of us. Here's where it's funny. All the guys thought it was a joke and no one took it seriously.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Now, I went home that night and Googled the shit out of this thing, and I didn't find much, but I found enough. I wrote them back the night and said, I'm in. And all my buddies, I still have the emails. They were, like, chirping me. And I said to them, like, am I literally the only one taking this seriously? And they were like, yeah. They're like, you're a dummy. Like, making fun of me, right? So, lo and behold, it's legit. And this was, like, ASAP thing, because by the time this happened, we were leaving in 5 weeks to go when this email came out. Like, it was quick. Like,
what were you doing for work at the time?
Same job I'm doing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
okay.
like it was quick. Like when he sent the email, like, you need to tell me ASAP. Like, he wasn't kidding because they had to get a group of guys together and go, right?
Flights paid for?
Oh yeah. So 3 of us actually from Cole Harbour, we said yes to go. And then once like our buddies that were on the email thread realized like this was legit, they all were like, oh, like we want in. And Kersey's like, sorry, man. Like, I told you, like, I needed to know ASAP. So my buddies were basically on suicide watch for like a couple weeks. And it was kind of, it's pretty funny, like, looking back on it now. But once they realized, like, this was legit.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. So do you know John Greenwood?
The Mooseheads coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him a couple times.
So he's a really good buddy of mine, and he was coaching midget in Cole Harbour at the time. And a bunch of my buddies came over to my house, and we were going to watch, because I live just not far from the rink.
Okay.
So we're having a couple beers, and we were going over to watch Johnny coach, right?
Yeah.
And when I got the email from Hockey Canada, and it was like the prep package detailing the tournament. And in it was an apparel and equipment order form. So I'm like, my buddies that are with me are the guys that all thought this was a joke and didn't take it seriously. So like, I'm showing them like the email, and they're losing their minds. They're like, "This is bullshit!" Like, losing it. And I'm
they
like
could have
laughing.
been.
Yes, they could have been. So 3 of us from Cole Harbour went, and we said, "Do we go?" And so it was pretty funny, but it was wild. Like, I mean, you're going to play hockey in Mexico City, and you're playing against these countries, so you've no idea what the hell's going to happen or what to expect or what. So
I love it.
I'm rattled because I'm like, well, shit, I got to get in shape, and I got like 4 weeks to do it. So I was skating with like a bantam team and a midget team, just trying to get ice time wherever I could. Just because, again, you've no idea, and I don't want to embarrass myself and look like a fool, right?
Yeah, you're representing Canada. You know, it's like.
So yeah, it was pretty wild. Like the roster, we had guys from all over Canada, couple guys from New Brunswick, a few from Quebec. A bunch from Ontario, Alberta, I think there's a Saskatchewan guy, BC. Like, yeah, really, really cool. So lo and behold, and Hockey Canada I mean, they're incredible how they're so detailed It's unbelievable. Like
Word,
they,
yeah.
and it was really neat. So the guys, so there was some of the guys that played actually worked for Hockey Canada too. So it was pretty cool. And the coach that we had, Corey McNabb, he's their senior director of player development for Hockey Canada. He's been with them a long time. If you ever see like Hockey Canada in the media or anything, or like talking about like growth of the game or any of that, typically it's him.
Okay.
So it was really interesting to see how they prepare for this event. So again, we're walking into the unknown. I mean,
But that's the exciting factor.
it is, but at the same time, it's kind of like shit. Like, what did I get myself into, kind of thing. But so yeah, it was fully paid for. Everything. I mean, we stayed in a wicked hotel. I mean, flights were totally covered, and we got I got more Team Canada clothing I'd ever know what to do with and stuff. And so so we go down, and it was an unbelievable experience. I mean, it's a fairy tale. I don't know how else to say it. It's the most ridiculous story ever. But like, I remember, you're telling people. I remember I called my boss and told him, I was like, listen, I got to take like a week and a half off work, and this is what I'm doing. And he laughs. He goes, excuse me? Like, he didn't believe me. I'm like, I know, it sounds ridiculous. I'll try and send you photos or something to make sure that you believe me. I'm not lying to you. But, so next thing you know, like, I'll never forget me and Joe Sanford, my buddy from Cole Harbor. We were on the flight out of here together, and, like, we're on the plane, like, going, and we're just like, well, what the fuck we got ourselves into? Like, what's happening here, right? Like, where are we going? But, yeah, it just right from the start. As soon as we landed, we were treated like gold. We were taken care of. Like, it was
Hockey Canada first class all the way.
They are like they call it the gold standard. Like, that's what they call their national programs, and it is like, it's impressive. And keep in mind, what we saw is not near to the level of what like a World Junior team or anything like that would see.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, man, we're a bunch of. I mean, the average age probably was 29 or 30. I mean, we're a bunch of 95 idiots, really. And all of a sudden we're down there, like, living the dream, right?
But you're wearing that jersey. That's why the standard has to be.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
great. Like, doesn't matter who's in it.
That's right. And, it was kind of interesting going down there and interacting with those other countries, man. I tell you, that was a really humbling experience.
In what sense?
Well, I mean, you got to think, like, you're talking hockey in Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, and Brazil. I mean, you think of that for a minute. It makes no sense.
Are
right?
they using wooden sticks? Like, what kind of gear do they have? Where do you get skates in Argentina?
This is it, and this is the thing. And like I said, it was really humbling. And sometimes you forget how fortunate we are, right? And, I mean, these guys playing hockey for these countries, like, they're playing it with zero connotations of anything. They know that there's no opportunity to play junior hockey or to get an education from hockey or to play pro. These guys know this.
Yeah.
They play it solely because they love it. No other damn reason. And you kind of sit there and you look at it and you're like, maybe these guys are smarter than the rest of us, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're happier.
They appreciate the game to a level that I was blown away by it. And I mean, they have zero infrastructure. Like, the president of the Argentinian Ice Hockey Federation, super guy, really nice guy. He literally spent his family's life savings and built Argentina's first ever ice hockey rink. He lives upstairs in it. Like, he's telling me this, and I'm just looking at him like, what? Like, are you kidding me? And this guy, and again, he's doing this for no other reason at all, other than the fact that he loved hockey and he wanted to bring it to that country, and that was the only way he could do it. And I'm pretty sure to this day, I think he still is president of the Argentinian Ice Hockey Federation, and like guys from Brazil, roller hockey players.
Yeah.
So, they obviously weren't very good, right? And you know what? That's fine. Like, the level of hockey was not. I mean, Colombia wasn't bad. The best player, I would argue the best player in the tournament, and we had some really good players. We had a couple guys drafted the NHL. Mark Rancourt played for us. He's Captain Smew. He was CIS Player of the Year. He won a national championship with them.
What year? 2000, the year Danton was there?
Yeah. What was that?
2010?
10 or 12? Yeah. Was it 10? Yeah, okay, yeah. But I would argue that the best player in the tournament was a Colombian.
Huh?
Yeah, honestly, no way. Yeah, this guy was, and we're watching him, and we were all like, "Holy shit! Like, this guy needs to get North America now."
Wow!
Like, just pure natural raw talent. I think He played in the East Coast for a bit. Someone took a flyer on him. I think I could be wrong. Anyway, but Mexico. So like their men's team. These guys were like, in school, had jobs. They have very limited funding, so they get their funding from the Olympic Committee. Believe it or not. The country's Olympic Committee.
Just for like skates and...
Yeah. So they actually fundraise a lot of their own money. These guys practice 5 days a week. And, like, listen, when you're around the age of 30, and if you're on the ice 5 days a week and in shape, you're a good hockey player. That's the damn truth, right? They practice from 11 o'clock at night to 12:30 in the morning 5 days a week.
Sorry, 11 o'clock at night till 12:30 in the morning, 5 days a week. Wow.
Yeah, so an hour and a half practice every night at 11 o'clock at night. And, again, these guys are doing it because they love it. And I'm sitting here, like, looking at it going, like, Jesus, like, this is unbelievable, right? And, for us, I mean, it was kind of funny because they had no idea who we were. Like, they thought we were, like...
NHLers.
Yeah. Little did they know, but...
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, to them, it was... You know what? I compare it to this, and this sounds ridiculous, and I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but... If an English soccer team came here right now today, it wouldn't matter who the hell they were or where they came from. Holy shit, it's a soccer team from England.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
yeah.
And that's what we were to them.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. Like we did one practice. We had the Argentinian team practice with us.
Yeah.
Like these guys were just blown away. And I mean, yeah, like you mentioned earlier about the gear. Like they're buying everything online, getting it shipped in, costing a damn fortune.
Yeah.
I mean, we show up, we got everything, you know what I mean?
Times
like
two, you got more than...
and they're just like, oh my God. And actually my skate broke down there. And so Hockey Canada could only bring so much.
Yeah.
So they brought a skate sharpener, but they didn't have like a riveter or anything. So I had to go on this wild goose chase to get my skate fixed in Mexico City, which was one of the most entertaining things I've ever done. So we had a team host. His name was Diego, and so local kid, yeah, he was a university student, so he was like our lifeline to do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like you got to help me here. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And there was literally, he told me, Mexico City of 35 million people, I think. They had one place, that whole city, that had anything to do with ice skating, and it was a store that sold very little hockey of anything and figure skating stuff.
Yeah.
So we get in this cab, and we got in forever. I don't even know where I was. Man, honestly, if I fell out of that cab, I'd probably be dead. I would not be here today. Like, I didn't know where we were, and it was, like, forever. And I had to go, like, it was ridiculous, right? I'm just like...
How long was the cab ride?
Oh, it was, like, forever.
Forever.
Yeah, it was, like, the other side of the city or something, and just to get rivets put back in the skate, and they ended up breaking again, too. And anyway, but it was just kind of funny, but... yeah, it was incredible though. Like just dealing with those countries, realizing like, wow, here we are. I mean, yes, we love hockey and we play it because we love it, but like these guys just literally do it because they love it. And just the questions too that they had, right?
Give me a question they had.
Well, they just would ask like, like the simplest things. Like, tell us about the rinks that you guys like grew up playing in, or
really, that's
or
cool.
like where are you guys from? And so us from Coal Harbor was kind of cool. Like
drop Sid's name. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we would tell them that, right? And of course, who wouldn't? And they were just like, oh my God. And I remember one of the guys on Brazil. I actually had a Hockey Nova Scotia T-shirt, and I gave it to him. And the guy was almost had tears in his eyes. I mean, he thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And it's just like you sit here and as an adult, you're kind of like, wow, like maybe sometimes we take life a little too granted, for granted sometimes. And just the questions they would ask about, what's it like? You guys play every day. You must go to the rink every day. And we're like, well, yeah, but it's not like that. Like, you got to pay money to go to the rink. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But it just, they'd see the gear and stuff, and not that we had we had all the Team Canada shit, which is pretty cool. They don't let you keep that, by the way.
Well, you got the jersey.
Oh yeah, I got the red one too.
Did you steal it?
No, they let us pick our own number and everything.
Oh, I thought you said they didn't give them to you.
But the gear.
Oh, the
equipment,
gear,
the gloves,
they give
and
you
helmet,
back?
and pants and stuff. Yeah, they use it different events.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like the under-18 team will use the same gear as like the World Junior team. And
no
stuff.
way.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I didn't know that.
Me neither. It's so
I was
shiny.
Like,
it looks
sweet,
clean.
I'm gonna look awesome in beer league with Team Canada shit on. But no, they took the gear back, right? So, but hey, whatever. but yeah, it was incredible just to meet those guys and to see what they go through and why they play the game.
Yeah.
You know, really cool. And the culture too is so different. So I remember we it was me and a couple of guys stayed back at the rink. I don't remember why. Doesn't matter. And so we were busing back to our hotel. So we jumped on the bus with the Colombian team. And we just kind of moved to the back, and everywhere we went, we had to wear team clothing, right?
Okay.
That was the rule. Hockey Canada's really, really, really ain't on that shit. We couldn't wear anything with a brand name on it. It had to be Nike.
Yeah, they're like, we're flying them down.
They
They're
told
going to wear
us. They
stuff.
told us. They're like, if you have a pair of flip flops or Reebok on them, get a Sharpie and block it out. We were like, you kidding me? They're like, oh yeah. They're like, no, we have to. Oh, I'm telling you, man, they're next level.
I believe it.
Yeah, they're like really, and they held us to the same standard. We're kind of like, Jesus, this is a little much, but oh yeah, they were. So anyway. Not that I was complaining. I was living the dream.
Yeah.
Christ, they told me to jump out in front of a moving bus. I would have done it. But so we go on the bus, and we're sitting in the back. There's 2 or 3 of us, and these guys fire up like this Bluetooth speaker, and like crazy Colombian dance music. Man, they're all up like singing and dancing on the bus, and we're just like, oh my God, is there a camera on us right now or something? Like we didn't know what to do. Like just the culture differences, right? Do you know what I mean?
I know
like,
what you
it's
mean.
Just so different.
Like not a bunch of Canadians would do that on a bus. Everyone would just sit down, have a couple beers.
Yeah, like these guys, it's not like they were drinking or anything.
Yeah.
It's just that's just their culture, right?
Yeah.
Like the Brazilians, you play them, and like the rink did a really good job with like the music and stuff, and they
Did
would
they?
try to play like local, like in between whistles, like cultural music. Like, do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like with,
Switch it up.
Yeah, like with
It's
Canada.
like Mighty Ducks when they played Jamaica.
like,
like,
you know,
played the drums. Yeah.
Yeah, they play like Eminem and shit. But anyway, it was like,
They play,
yeah. But so like the Brazilian guys just start dancing, like on the bench.
That's like Mighty Ducks. That's exactly
when
like
they
Mighty
play-
Ducks.
man, we were like loving it. We were like, this is the best ever, right? Like we just got the biggest kick out of it, and it was so neat. And we get down there, and we're totally. Again, like Hockey Canada did an incredible job preparing us as best they could. We had numerous conference calls leading up to it.
What would the conference calls be about? Professionalism?
Oh, holy shit, man! They went over everything. I remember, like literally, they went over everything from weather expectations, currency. They were like, you know,
Do you get a per diem a day? You
no,
get like a
no. And actually, speaking of that, the IIHF has a rule regarding amateur and professionals. Believe it or not.
What's the
something
rule?
so I can't remember. Something weird with that. No, Hockey Canada doesn't pay. Like they don't do that. No. We didn't get stipends or anything like that. But we were well taken care of. You know, like
You're not going to go down there struggling for food.
We went to the bar a couple times, and I remember the first time we went, there was a bar attached to our hotel. We stayed it was a really nice hotel. All the teams stayed in it.
Yeah.
And this bar, the hotel had like a club attached to it. And first night we were there, so one of the guys from our camp were like, "Hey guys, we'll just run it under one bill." And we're like, "Okay, like we'll just all throw in on it at the end, right?"
Yeah.
So anyway, the bill came, and he's like, "No, I got it." And he pulls out his Hockey Canada corporate card. The bill was like over $3,000. I'm like, "Shit, man, you can expense that? Like, how does that work? Like, how do you explain that in your expense report?" And he looked at me and he goes, "You kidding me?" He goes, "If you knew any idea what we just spent over in Sochi," he goes, "This is nothing." And I was just like, oh my God. And it was interesting to learn how like Hockey Canada, I mean, they got more money than God. I mean, these guys are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they do, they really, they take care of everything. And it was really cool. And actually this is really funny. So when he paid the bill, I mean, everything's in pesos too, right? So you're trying to convert in your head all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, he pays the bill and we go back out to our rooms. Well, I hear this like commotion in the hallway and I open the door. Because we had like our own floor. Every team was on their own floor, like a wing basically. So we had like our own. So I hear this commotion and I'm like, what the hell? So I open the door and like the manager from the bar is up on the hallway and he's with these 2 guys. One of them I think was like a security guard or something. And these are like big guys. And he was like screaming and yelling. So again, the language barrier is a little tough, right?
Yeah.
And turns out, so when our coach paid for the bill, he forgot a 0.
Oh.
So he on the machine.
I know what you mean.
Because he had to type in the total, which is totally weird. I don't know, man.
I know.
Shit works different down there. But when he typed in the total, he forgot a zero. So he basically shorted them
$300,
$3,000,
yeah.
basically. So they didn't catch on to it until they must have reviewed the receipts later. So they came out, were screaming and yelling and accusing him, ripping him off. He was like, no. So anyway, he had to, and it was hilarious because he was basically in his pajamas. He had to go back down. And he's too big guy. Like he went back down to the bar.
Mexico City.
It was hilarious, right? But
that's amazing.
yeah, it was cool. So we actually, the Canadian Embassy, they have an embassy down there. So they hosted us. We went the second day we got there. And they told us like the do's and don'ts of everything. They gave us the real rundown
Of the city?
Yeah. They were like, you guys can't go anywhere by yourselves. Like you always have to be in a group.
Yeah. Wallets in the front pocket.
Oh yeah. Well, they talked to us about that. So I guess the common thing down there is what they do is they'll kidnap you. And what they do is they'll kidnap you for about 36 or 48 hours, and then they let you loose because like you have a daily limit on your cards. You can only spend so much on your card every 24 hours.
Yeah.
So they'll max it twice and then set you free. So it's a huge thing down there. Yeah. So they were like warned us of that, and so it's pretty kind of funny to hear all that stuff because you're kind of like, Jesus,
Should play some hockey,
now?
yeah.
But yeah, no, it was wild, man. From start to finish, it was it was quite an experience. I could write a book on it, really.
Should.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was just thinking you were saying like these guys really love the game, and I'm just thinking to myself, what do I really love about the game? And I love the room after with the boys having a beer. It's like I love the game. I love getting out there getting a sweat, but I love just seeing the boys.
It's true. Like I guess the culture of hockey, like we had a bunch of guys thrown together. It was 25 people, I guess, and from all over parts of Canada. Different backgrounds, different places. We're all at different stages of our lives, whatever, throw them together. And it's like you've known each other for 10 years, right? But that's the sport.
Yeah.
And that's why it's awesome. And we had such a good group of guys down there. You had to mix everything, right?
Yeah.
You had the quirky ones, you had the funny ones, the serious ones. You know what I mean? Like, it was just awesome. Like a really, really good, solid group of guys, man. And it was a ton of fun. And
a bunch
really
of Canadians
cool.
playing hockey.
Yeah.
What do you want?
So yeah, it was neat, and obviously we won.
See the ring?
Yeah.
Show the camera.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can. Is it
You
zoomed
see
up?
that up there? Yeah.
Is it on
it's
camera
pretty cool.
too? Yeah. It's
a great conversation piece, I'll tell you. But
you just flash it at the bar. You're just like,
yeah.
Can I get a beer?
This is the first time I've worn in a while, Justin. I haven't worn this in a long time, but yeah, no, it's pretty neat. I think it'd be a cool story to tell my kids someday.
It's sick.
Yeah, but no, it was unreal, man. It was really cool. It was a great experience. The rink was actually not even done yet. It wasn't completed. It was a brand new rink. It was on a university campus, and it wasn't completed yet. So we're like, when I say it wasn't completed, I mean like the ice just got put in. So obviously heat's an issue down there.
Yeah.
So they have the air conditioning system in it. The problem is the humidity. So like the windows were just sweat. Like it was crazy. And the ice was tinged blue. They have to use a different kind of glycol in the pipes to keep it cool because of it's so damn humid. And the ice was really thin. So we practiced, when we got down there, we actually cut through to the concrete.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And, guys were taking tight turns a little too hard, right? And cut through so that the Zamboni driver didn't know how to fix anything. So some of the guys that on our team were out helping fix the ice. It was crazy, and we're just like, this is like, what's going on here, right?
That's insane.
Yeah, and to the rink actually, and it probably sat about, I don't know, probably 2,500 people maybe. So when we first got down there, we didn't know what to expect, and like I said, Hockey Canada did a really good job preparing us best they could.
Yeah.
But again, you don't know what these teams are going to be like. You have no idea, like you really don't. So the first day we practice, I don't know, there was like one person in the rink. Well, the next day we practiced, Jesus, there was honestly, man, like 100 or so people in there watching us practice, and we were like, what's going on here? And I shit you not, we finished practice and we go in the room, and CNN Mexico was there, and they wanted to interview so Corey McNabb I mentioned, so he was like our guy, he was our coach, but he was the guy. So CNN Mexico's interviewing him, and we're just like, this is bananas. And everywhere we went was like people would know, because we always were wearing the Canada stuff. So people were like, honestly, man, it was if there was ever a time in your life to live the dream, like this
That's
was it.
it.
And I got to be honest, like we took it and ran with it. Like it was,
Of course.
yeah. Like I don't know if anyone that knows me would ever call me a poser, but let me tell you what, I ran with it for 10 days, and it was bananas. Like it was nuts. So every time we would play, it'd be packed. There's kids down there. Jesus, man, you're signing stuff, and you're just thinking like, holy shit! If these people knew
what I did,
what I do for a living, where I live, and like, you know what I mean?
Go with it.
And meanwhile, my buddies are like at home, like, you know, texting me and stuff because they're following it, like, and they're just like, man, like, just send us photos, and they're all just making fun of me and stuff, and it was just unbelievable, man. It was wild.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
that's
it was crazy.
unreal.
It was
10
crazy.
days of paradise, just doing whatever you want.
Yeah, we have actually. This is one of my favorite stories about it. We so after the embassy, we went out and we went for lunch, and we were in this place. It was a nice spot. We were having beers and lunch or whatever, and we're all there. And this guy comes up. He goes, "Oh my god!" He's freaking out. He goes, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Like you guys are Team Canada. Like you guys are the ones that are here." And I'll never forget him. His name was Marco. And he was an older guy.
Yeah.
He was in the jewelry business. And the reason I know this is because he said, he goes, "Listen," he goes, "I'll be right back. I'll be right back. My office is a couple blocks away. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere." And we're like, all right, man. Like, well, fuck, we're not going to go anywhere.
Have a cold beer.
He comes back and he has a photo in his hand, framed photo, and he took it from his office. And it's a photo of him several years before in a beer league, his team beer league picture in Mexico City. They have a beer league there, and he played in it. This guy was so damn proud to tell us. This is a grown man. Like, he was like late 50s probably.
Wow.
This guy was so proud to tell us that he played ice hockey. Honestly, we were just like, this is incredible. So, like, we kind of realized at that point, we're like, all right, like, you know what? Like, we got to, these people think this is really cool. Like, we got to really be good to them, right?
You probably did them a service by going along with it. If you just said, no, I'm not signing that, like, I'm not who you think I am, you did them a service by going, yeah, okay, let's do it. That's awesome. I'll sign that for you. You want to have an interview? Let's do it,
this
you
is
know?
a grown man, like, you know, probably as a family, whatever. And this guy was just elated telling us that he played ice hockey. First of all, we were like, holy shit, there's a beer league here? Like, we were like, really?
Yeah.
So when we won, and, like, we're on the ice celebrating, and the rink was full, and we hear this guy, and he's screaming, like, abnormally loud, and we look up, and there's a guy, I'll never forget it, in a Doug Gilmour Leafs jersey, and it was Marco, that guy. And one of our guys went over to the security guard, and they were like, get that guy and bring him down here. And they brought him down oh, shit, man, we were lifting him up, everything. It was unbelievable. Like, the coolest thing. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, and again,
You made that guy's life.
Yeah,
That's
it was wild. Like, and it was just so cool to experience such a different culture and stuff. And in regards to hockey, like, I was really humbled by it all, right? And appreciative, too. And you know what, for me, I think, not to sound too preachy or sentimental, but, you know, when I talked earlier about how hockey ended for me, for me, it was almost like a closure in a sense. It's like, okay, like, you know what? I get to do something pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm good with it now. Do you know what I mean?
That's really cool.
Because I always felt like, you know, you miss out. You know, I missed out on a lot. And, you know, I mean, yeah, like I played a lot of like beer league hockey and stuff in my 20s and had a good time on road trips with that and whatever, a lot of fun with the guys. But you know, I really felt that I had that sense of closure with this. Like, you know what? I get to do something that, hey, man, like no one really ever got to do. It's crazy and ridiculous, but you know what? Like, I'm happy now. Like, it's good. You know what I mean? So for me, like, I really was grateful for it. I really was appreciative of it. I think some guys that were there might not have been as much, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. That's on them. But for me, like, I was really just grateful of it all. Like, so thankful that we got to do that, and it was oh man, the whole thing was ridiculous, but really, really awesome.
That's sick, man. You painted a great picture there. That's awesome. The Dougie Gilmour guy coming down too. Marco, his name was?
Yeah.
Marco comes down. Do you bring him in the room after?
Oh my God. Yeah, it was crazy, man. We it was, you know what? So we actually flew out like early that morning. So we you know, celebrated with a few pops or whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh my God. We actually, man, I gotta tell you the story. So the food down there is Mexico City. I mean, it's known for really good food and stuff. So we would always eat the hotel, right? Like the hotel had a big spread for us. Like, but we said, we're like, we want to go out like for a nice dinner when we're down here, right?
Okay.
So we obviously we don't know where the hell to go or whatever. So we had up on our floor. We had our own common room. We'd hang out and
Yeah.
have beers in and tell lies and whatever.
Tell lies.
So we're up there, and the hotel manager comes up one night. He says, "Hey, there's this woman downstairs who wants to come up and speak to you guys," and he gives us her business card. So the boys start like Googling her or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, she's a PR rep. She has her own PR firm, and her Instagram is loaded with her pictures of her like arm in arm with like Bieber, Eminem, like crazy celebrities. We were like, what the hell? So we're like, yeah, like, get her to come up. So she came up, and she was doing PR for this new. So there's this area, I guess, in Mexico City where all like really nice bars and restaurants. It's like a whole district.
Okay.
So she was doing PR for this new cabaret club called Monkeys.
What's a cabaret again? It's like a dance group. A cabaret.
They got like.
I thought it was like a bunch of dudes singing in
Yeah,
themes.
they have like.
Or lots of barbershop quartet.
Yeah, but they have like the cabaret club is. I think the old school definition of it is basically they have like entertainment there.
Okay.
Like I don't know how to
Someone
explain it.
dancing and singing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, we were like, oh, this is perfect because, like I said, we wanted to go out. So
Yeah.
anyway, we talked to our team host about it because he kind of like would,
Yeah.
hey man, like, is this legit kind of thing? And he was like, yeah, good. So we make plans to go out Friday night. So, if there's ever a night in your life to act like a celebrity, like this was it, right? And we ran with it. So we go, and we go, and this place was awesome. There's like dudes rolling around in unicycles. They had a stage, and there's like these women dancing and singing. And guys are rolling around in unicycles, like serving drink. Like this place, it was beautiful, right? So we sit down. The owner of the place comes over, and he goes, guys, I'm just so thrilled to have like Team Canada here, and we're all just like rolling our eyes, going, yeah. So anyway, it was crazy. So
like I just got an email last week, but
yeah. My buddy I played beer league with fired me off an email 2 weeks ago, man, and yeah, here I am. Yeah, no,
That's
it's good.
amazing.
So we're sitting there, and oh man, the food was, oh my god, like we had the chef coming out cutting fresh racks of lamb like right at the table, and we're just ordering everything, and he came over, and the owner bought us these really nice bottles of wine. Right now, I don't drink wine. I'm not classy enough for that. So he came over to me, and he said, he goes, you not like the wine? And I said, no. I said, no, like I just don't enjoy wine. It's just not me. I said, sure, it's great. Like, I didn't want to offend the guy. He's buying us. These are like $400 bottles of wine he's giving us. I said, he goes, what do you like? I said, well, I'm kind of a whiskey guy, right? So he comes over with a bottle of Johnny Walker. He goes, here. I'm like, holy shit.
Bottle.
So anyway, it was incredible. So as the night went on, basically we're just making a show of it. I mean, Jesus, we at one point like Red Bull and vodka's going, and oh my god, man, like the bill. So I wish I had the picture of my phone. The bill was insane.
Like 10?
Oh, more.
20?
It was nuts. It was nuts. So, but you know what? It was like this trip was paid for.
Yeah.
Like everything was covered. And it was like, you know what? It was like you're ever gonna live the dream for one night.
Yeah.
Like this is it, right? And we had such a good time, and it was crazy. So I actually have old photos like my buddy Joe signing autographs for people, and like just hilarious, right? Like we're just, you know what I mean? I always
Trip
feel
of a
bad, like
lifetime.
you're lying to these people, but it's like, hey, they asked.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
you're making them more happy than they're making you.
Yeah. So like, just it was awesome, man. And that was close to the end of it too. So
That's awesome.
oh man, it was unreal. Yeah, it's such a great time.